All right. Welcome back to the board drill. Doing a quick hit tonight, I guess, as we call it. We're going to talk a little football, just me and Matt. Matt, first off, congratulations. How's it feel to be a married man now?
Fantastic. It's been quite a month for me. Those of you that don't know, I went through surgery about a month ago. Both of my sisters have been married in the last few weeks, and then I got married last week, and it's just been a whirlwind. Last month's just been crazy in my life, so it's good to just get to do something normal tonight and just talk some football.
Yeah, we got Coach back. You know, every time we have a podcast, Matt, everyone talks to me, and I'm like, hey, Matt's not on tonight. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, you're just stuck with me. So you may be the only guy on earth that likes getting stuck with me. But so tonight, you know, Matt, the other week we wrote an article on Boise State and kind of what I used to call cover 7 pressures. The Saban version would be Big 12 pressures. But in theory is it's bringing 5 and playing quarters or some variation of quarters. So tonight we're going to talk about this. I used to do it at the high school level as a coach. So we're going to start with that high school film. Then we're going to show some college film of Boise doing it. And then we got one clip from the Vikings running their variation of it, right? So let me share my screen and we'll get into it. We're going to talk a little through it. Now, the base concept is we're going to run quarters. When we talk about my version, it's real simple. We're going to run our quarters variation to one side of the field. So can you see the screen now?
Yeah, we got it, Coach.
So over here on this side right here, can I get my drawer? No? Can we draw? Here we go. So on this side of the film, we're just going to run, or this side of the field, we're going to run our regular quarters concept. So in this case, it's palms, all right? On this side of the field, we're going to bring pressure. It's this corner, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, this is the worst corner blitz on the history of Earth. Omar, if you watch this, I cannot believe you sold out this bad. So we're going to bring a corner. All right, and then we're going to play man. So that safety is going to be man there, and now the will have the next back out. If for some reason this back travels over, the Mike knows he's got to travel with them too. And sorry, I just drew a whole bunch of crap on the screen, but I'm giving the theory. We are zone to the left, we're man to the right. All right, now let's watch the worst corner blitz ever. This is not how we teach it, by the way. We don't teach them to do that. But it works out well, right? Because the theory is, again, Matt, we're showing that 4-man front, we're bringing 5. Now, the way we teach it is we tell this kid to stand right here until the ball's snapped and then go. But Omar was excited, and he wanted to go ahead and take off and get a sack. But, you know, real simple thing. We're going to stunt the 5 into the B gap, which you know something as little as that at times can be really destructive. And we're just going to gap out the backside and play man. And then on the front side, we're playing zone. Real simple here because we're really only changing the rules for a few guys in 11-man defense, right? Everybody front side, they didn't care what the call was. They heard palms, and they're going to go play palms. Everybody on the backside knows they play man unless they're blitzing. The guy who's blitzing, you know, go get the ball. So that's that.
I wouldn't say it's the worst corner blitz I've ever seen at all. You know, he makes the play. So you can't say it's the worst hidden, maybe. Like, you know what's happening here. But, you know, Coach, this is one of my favorite concepts, you know, blitzing from the boundary with a team that's going to, especially two backs in the backfield, send the blitz from the boundary and force the quarterback to make a throw into a tight window.
Yeah, and this is the case where, you know, they're running the football, maybe an RPO here because you look, the wide receiver for some reason looks frustrated because he beats his guy. But regardless, it's either going to be a tackle for loss or a sack here. So it's okay that the safety really, right, he's going to jump on a ball, and that's how it is. We named them after animals, if you see in the corner. So this one was Cobra, right? Real original name. So this next one, so typically, right, the next iteration is instead of bringing the corner, we bring the safety. So this guy right here, we're going to bring that safety. All right.
Also
now,
very well hidden. Very well hidden. You don't know he's coming.
No, so for the safety one, we didn't hide it. All right. Our rule was we walked that kid. We wanted to show it. That kid was a pretty good player. So we had one where he went outside. We called it Fox. This is one where he goes inside. We call it Fish. And we don't execute it super well. But again, the idea is that we're going to gap ourselves out here. So this time we're going to have a 2-man movement, right? This 3 tech should go to the A gap. All right. The end is going to get vertical, and then the safety is going to come underneath. Now it's a run, so it looks a little more jumbled, if you will. Can I get this deleted? Good Lord. So you're going to see it looks a little more jumbled, but that 13 is going to fit right underneath and make the tackle here on kind of a zone insert play. Again, real simple play. All we're doing is we're saying that defensive end is going to get vertical, and then we're going to fill, much like a linebacker would fill, boom, right there. And it just cuts off the run.
Coach, yeah, and I know this is great into the run like that, you know, because that guard's not, especially if they're like running zone to the right, that guard's not looking for the safety coming B gap.
along
high
with a
school.
3-tech stunting across his face. Now, the 3-tech doesn't do a
Yeah.
great job of stunting across his face
That's what I
here,
mean.
but, that's kind of the way it is. So, and really, again, by doing this, we're gapping out one side of the ball. So if the ball does bounce that way, the linebacker can run straight there. There's no one to down block on the linebacker here, right? We've taken up all those linemen. So if it bounces weak, the linebacker just runs over top. So again, real simple, because front side, we're just playing palms. Now, I know this guy run fits here, but he's your kind of 2 to the flat dropper, like we talk about the hook to flat dropper. But again, he sees run, so he's going to work inside. But it's a real easy way to just get 5 guys on the line of scrimmage, get an extra hat in the box really, really quick. And really, at this point, as you can see, I mean, we're fitting with 8 men here. All right, it doesn't get much better than fitting the run with 8. So we're going to the next one. We're going to see this.
Coach. Hold on. Go back. I got a question.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So H-back goes to the flat this side. I mean, with the safety
Will has
jumping inside. Sorry.
Yeah, with the safety jumping inside, the Will has that H-back right there. He knows he's man-to-man with that guy. So as you see, I can see you're throwing some pins in a coal or something. So as you can see, yeah, sticky notes, there you go. Watch as the H inserts, you're going to see that Will insert because he's man-to-man on him. So watch that Will insert immediately with the H. If that H were to work out, that Will's going to work out with him because we're gapped out on that side. So if he works that way, the Will works that way, and then the fold becomes with those two guys, right? That's how we sling the fit, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and this is something where it's our base level blitzes. These are all week 1 install blitzes. So we work the absolute piss out of these. So this is one thing our kids are very good in the run fits with them. All right, next one, and you're going to see 3 clips. It's Fox now. So there's the safety. This time, instead of going inside, he's coming outside. Again, we're still just playing palm strong here. Now, real simple, we're going to make our palms check there. And then there's the easy fit by the safety. And we got a couple of these in a row so you can see. But when you bring that safety off the edge, if he's an athletic kid, there's not much, A, they either got to read him, or B, they're going to not account for him like you see there. So we'll see the next one here. Kind of same thing. The safety's there on the edge. He's going to come right off. Boom. I mean, they're running zone into it. And they don't even come near looking at the safety.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So last one I'm going to show you quick is just the pass rush. The safety's up here at the top. And again, now this is Jeff Sims, right? So he's a guy that while he didn't have a great career in college, he's Division I, committed quarterback at this point. Here we go. Come off the edge, beats the running back, has the sack, lets him go though. He almost throws a pick here, so we're all right. But again, just a great way, right? Our free safety was a pretty athletic kid. So you can see rushing him off the edge and getting to Jeff quickly, which is something we wanted to do, was very, very important. So you can see right there why it's effective. So that's kind of all the safety and corner ones. Now, what we did, Matt, anytime it was 2x2, we didn't call anything but Cobra or Fox or Fish. But if they were 2x2, we checked Wolf, right? Real simple animal names. And Wolf means what, Matt? I'm sure you can guess.
Will?
Means the Will's going, right? Yeah. Our general rule with our kids, we made it super simple. Our Will, who's a decent player, was not going to cover a skill guy by himself. So if it's 2 removed and we called Cobra, they got to check Wolf. If we called Fox, they got to check Wolf, right? We don't want the Will in coverage. So we're just going to let him go. So little example, just the Will. And again, he does a real poor job of showing it. Our kids got way too excited to blitz. But you can see we're just playing man. They throw the hitch. We come up, right? Rattle the ball loose. Good to go. So again, just a simple check. All of our kids know it. Again, we never use the term Wolf. We don't say it. Our kids check it. Boom, they go right to it. There's the executed blitz. You can see a tighter version of it. Again, there you go. If you can't recognize that quarterback, that's Carson Beck, by the way. All right, so Boise State running some of these. So again, Boise State here is going to bring that Will. This guy right here. Very similar to what we just talked about. Instead of playing palms, though, they're just going to play quarters to the top. Still the same concept. They're going to play man backside. Here goes the Will. Inside move. I believe this is Portland State does a really good job. But this is a great example that we told the kids. All right. If we're locked backside, the Mike has to always push off of number 3. If number 3 pushes strong, the Mike does his normal zone push that he knows in our quarters concept. If number 3 pushes weak, guess what? He's got a man-to-man. Watch the Mike lose him in man. Starts off in man and loses him right here, and boom, decent gain there. Now, Mike does a good job of recovering, but that's an important aspect when we teach this. Again, our kids rep these pressures all the time. The Mike knows if that back goes weak, I've got a man-to-man. I got to be sticky as hell on him, because if he slides out like that, at the high school level, right, our Mike may not be good enough to recover on a good tailback. So if that tailback gets it there, he could be 88 and out the gate, especially in the state of Florida. I can kind of see the back end view of it here. And really, right, Sacramento State does a great job or Portland State does a great job calling it out. I mean, you can see 74 point at it before this guy even starts creeping. Watch him. Talk about doing your homework there, Matt. You got to love that with O linemen. They point it out, they slide, get perfect protection there.
You see how tight the safety is right behind the linebacker. I mean,
correct, yeah.
There's a giveaway.
Anytime they're stacked like that, if you're an offensive guy and you don't know how to tell the difference, anytime they're stacked, it's a good indicator they're coming. Again, things we try to tell them not to do. Very similar one right here, still bringing the weak side. I was just kind of showing a couple clips of them doing it, where you can really see there's the weak side, right? Washington State does a good job throwing the dig, but it's man-to-man over there, and then it's zone to the bottom. So real simple aspect. Obviously, if you can't play man-to-man, it can be a little bit of a struggle. You got to play a little man here.
If you're, I don't know. Send six against empty. Well, there's got to be a free guy coming.
That's right. So, by the way, empty. Sorry, let me make this point. Earlier, this is what I meant. This is why I had this clip. So, in empty, we also had a check as well. Again, it's not going to be what Boise does here. We actually called it bingo. So, again, we may call Cobra, we may call Fox. They come out empty. It's bingo. And what we did was we took this Mike right here and we moved him to the line of scrimmage. He's still on the zone side, so he's going to drop to 3. We played, mini stubby, so he'll drop to post 3. We would leave this will off, and then we would go ahead and just bring that will through the B gap, right? We all know that anytime you get a chance bringing the will through the weak B gap, Matt, you know that a lot of times in protection, that's the place to bring the guy. So we called it bingo, and we bring that guy through the B gap because it's more of an immediacy to the quarterback here. It's not what they do. It's fine. It's just that was our check, was bingo. People have asked me about our empty check. It's real simple. All of our kids know it's bingo. I don't know. We did this signal. I don't know why, because the target dog was like that, and target dog was a dog, and we said bingo. I have no idea how we
was its name bingo? I feel like its name wasn't bingo.
No, it wasn't. We just kind of did. We're like bingo, dog, target, whatever. And if you're a young guy, Target used to have a dog as their logo. Remember that? They don't have that anymore now. It's just literally a target.
It was like a little Jack Russell Terrier or something.
Yeah, something like that. So
a little energetic.
So here we go. Here's Boise State again running Cobra. Very same thing we did. It ends up just being a screen out, and the corner does a good job here. But just an example of, again, look, you see this at both levels, high school level, college level, right here. It looks similar. It's a little bigger, stronger, and faster at the college level, but same concepts. They're playing zone. What's that?
Such a great job by that nickel or whatever he is out there, just running through that block. Holy crap. That's how you beat Bubble.
Sometimes playing aggressive downhill works out, even when you fall, right? He's just being aggressive, kind of falls into it. Hey, good enough. Take tackle, man. So, but again, just an example of them running the same concept, right? That end's just going to move inside and the corner's going to come off the edge. And yeah, the ball's going the other direction, but look, it's no different than the way we ran it. Again, another example, this time they bring the will, but they go on an interior path, which you could do, by the way. You don't have to bring them on the outside. This time they bring the will through B, which is always a good blitz. It's quarterback draw. Boom, they nail him for a sack. Or at least it feels like quarterback draw. But just great examples, again, of the ability to drop 6 in coverage and bring 5 and still be effective. No commentary on this one, huh? Offensive line guy.
It's got to be draw. What's the back doing?
I don't know.
It looks like it's half slide to the right, and then the back's just run right up the middle like he's got the ball.
I think he's trying to lead on the mic because that's his job.
I don't know.
I think he's thinking I got 10. I don't know. But again, this is just the ability to bring 5 and be slightly aggressive, right? You don't always want to bring 6. I know Matt says that, but you want to be aggressive.
Go back. The center and the guard should have double team from 9 to 10. Right?
I'm with you.
Boom, boom. We're going to, the center's pointing it out. We're double teaming 9 to 10.
I'm just trying to reason.
Should have 23 or 4. Man, what is going on?
Why don't you call up Nevada and let them know? So, I think it's Nevada. Right? Yeah. So who was in the Mountain West Championship of Boise? Was it Nevada? Yeah.
Well, that was New Mexico.
No, it's Nevada. All right, Matt. So here's the last iteration we're going to talk about. Okay, we all know Flores is wild and runs these pressures. So now what they're going to run is they're going to bring 5. They're going to play true quarters on both sides of the field and have 2 droppers. So what you're going to see here is basically the willingness to blow the middle hook or to cut loose the running back, right? There's no one for the 3, and you're going to see he's pretty open right here. But the situation just calls for it. So they're going to bring 5. They're going to play regular quarters. He's going to run around, but boom, there's their quarters drop. You can see how open the running back is, right? But just an example of teams doing that and causing pressure with it and being able to bring that. So I think I have the back shot here. So the Vikings were a big 5-6-man pressure team, but here's them bringing 5 right here. And boy, they had a day with Aaron Rodgers. They beat him up all day long. But this is kind of that next iteration. If you don't want to play man coverage, how do you still play your quarters concepts? Well, they play it with two vision kind of hook players underneath, and then they play quarters over top. The Vikings even have a variation, Matt, where they bring 6 and they play 1 underneath with hot quarters over top. So very interesting things that they do. Now they'll play at the sticks and come downhill. They do it obviously predominantly on 3rd down, but the Vikings get really aggressive with it. But there are answers if you're watching this and you're like, hey, we just can't play man, we can't do it. Here's your zone answer, right? If you have a question of what this is called, terminology I've heard, we call it spot. Some people also do the same thing and play cover 2 with 2 hook defenders underneath. They call that tango. Matt, I get it. There's holes in the defense here when you do this. But again, the idea is let's get pressure. Let's let the quarterback try to find the holes and pick us apart. At the high school level, probably even a better idea than at the pro level.
I mean, I assume it's not 3rd down here. I don't know what the quarterback's doing. Forcing a ball when he's
Play
got
3, it could be 3rd down. I'd have to go look it up. But yeah, no, I think maybe 2nd down. But it's Aaron Rodgers. They had him all day long.
Tight end check releasing to the top of the field there.
I'm with you. The egregious one here is the running back right in the middle of the field. I mean, like, those guys are both working out. Like, throw the ball.
Either way, you got one guy to cover 2.
I agree. That's the point. But, right, that's the game you play. If you want to bring 5 and you want to play quarters, you have to – something's open, right? You got to give up something. And so that's –
And I always go – when I see something like this, I always go back to – there was a quarterback we used to face in Central Florida where our game plan was literally to let him throw anything under 10 yards. Like, we know he's not going to throw that ball. He's going deep ball, so we know he's going deep ball. We're going to play off. We'll play true quarters coverage and leave everything underneath. And, I mean, it looks like that's kind of what the Vikings are doing here. They're playing soft underneath and saying, we're not going to get beat deep today.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the idea, right? You can do that. Michigan does a variation where they bring 5 and they play tango, which is they play cover 2 underneath and then 2 deep, but it's only 4 under 2 deep. So it's how do you want to play it? Do you want to play tango and be more aggressive on the front ends and realize that, like, look, if they run 4 verticals, you're really in trouble? Or do you want to flip it and play quarters with the 2 vision breaks, spot, which is the quarters with the 2 vision breakers? Or do you want to do what we showed earlier, which you play zone on one side, play man on the other, which, again, that's aggressive too, right? If they pick it up on the man side, you run the risk. So, these are all just kind of answers that we talked about, right? They're in the quarters toolbox. And I think if you mix it up enough, you're okay. But like you said, if you play it every down, the Vikings were very good early in the season. Then later on in the season, they got a little tougher to do what they do. So I still love it. I think it's super creative by Flores. He's still the king of creative pressures, but these are the variations. So for those of you out there that had been asked about the article, different ways we did it, there's kind of examples of how you've seen it at the high school level, the college level, and now the pro level. Again, like we always say, take it and make it your own. Use whatever works for you, right? And again, we did simple pass, Matt. There's the ability to bring the edge guy right and do, a pop stunt where you bring the end all the way to the A gap and move these, so you can add a lot of wrinkles to it. There's no reason why you can't work a ton stunt inside with the tackle on the nose while bringing a guy off the edge, right? We did it real simple at the high school level, but you can make it as complex as you want based off what your kids know and how you feel good about them, right? If you feel good about your lineman twisting and doing all this crap, throw it in there. If you don't, be real simple. Move the end, bring the edge guy, play man, and you've only changed responsibilities for 3 or 4 guys. So, Matt, that's cover 7 pressures.
Before we go, I'm going to go off topic here.
Okay.
Minnesota Vikings, Brian Flores. I watched all the Tennessee films, so I saw most schools from the SEC. But dang, when I saw Tennessee against Georgia, there was just one guy that stood out on film, the Ingram Dawkins kid that Minnesota took, I think in like 4th or 5th round. Man, he's a dude. And I mean, I can just see him fitting into what Dawkins does here because he can play anything along the front. So now he goes and pulls in another guy that he can move along the front. I think you're going to see more dynamic stuff from him.
That's
being able to use a guy like that.
His ability, I would love to hear how they personnel it and call their paths. You know, do they call the same path and all the personnel just have to know it based off where they line up? Are they like slightly different names that you stair step up? You know, like sometimes we do like, you know, we do a college team for this, then we do a pro team for that. Or, you know, Cody Alexander does one where he does like a basketball team and a pro team, you know, and an NFL team, but they're in the same city, right? So they're different personnel, same city. So I would, if you let me sit down with Flores, that would be my question. Like, when you change your personnel, how do you call those pressures? Because, like you said, who's the white safety there, 22? I forget his name. He lines up on the line of scrimmage as much as he lines up at safety. It's wild. So he's in the pressure path. He plays, the linebacker hook defender a lot. And then sometimes they line up on the line of scrimmage and they sprints to the post. So Minnesota does some wacky stuff. It's awesome, though. I love it.
And Flores is fun to watch for that. When he was down in Miami, when I was watching him with the Dolphins, they were all over the place defense. I mean, they'd line up straight across and just bring bodies and go man the rest. And it was fun to watch.
Yeah, and he's gotten, after he got fired from Miami, he spent some time with Narduzzi at Pitt. And now here comes all the hot pressures. And now he came out with the, and again, I'm not saying he invented it. I think he's the first guy I've seen do it, but the hot quarters where they play 1 under 4 deep, which sounds ludicrous. But later on in that Jets game, they go the 1 under 4 deep. The kid from the Dolphins, your boy, right? Who's the front guy from the Dolphins that went there? White dude with the long hair.
Oh, Van Ginkel. God, he's
Van
good.
Ginkel is the pop guy who's the one underneath. He throws the ball. Van Ginkel tips it to himself, takes off for a touchdown, pick 6. So really
another
awesome
guy
stuff.
that moved around from inside to outside linebacker, plays multiple positions. That positionless stuff.
Maybe those guys that are great athletes that don't make it on defense, like the Isaiah kid from Clemson, maybe he needs to eventually find himself a home in Minnesota and let Flores work with him, right? He seems to be the king of positionless guys.
I got one more thing before. Just things that are going through my head, man. We're going to extend. This is not going to be a short. This is going to be a medium today. So we used to play, Coach Donnelly at Lake Mary. And they had, was it the Westbrook kid that played for the Titans? I don't know. They had a stud receiver out there. And they would line him up as far as they could. And they'd by himself, trips into the boundary, and they'd either run a go or a slant. And we were doing the same cover 7 style stuff. We sent in the blitz. Except for them, our game plan was to play the corner off. And that's when we knew he would have the slant read, fake the blitz from the safety, from your same idea.
Yep.
And then back him back out at the last second and try to pick the ball or take the guy's head off. I think we did that a couple times. That was a fun little variation we did.
So we have it. We called it, all these animal names with an F, we called it Frog. And the kids named him. This is how we justified it, right? Don't ask me about Fish and Fox, but we were like, look, Fish and Foxes, they're quick. I was like, Frog is slow and he hops out, right? So like that was the thing, right? Show it and then hop out of it. And again, it's like the little things you come up with the coach on the fly, but like our kids instantly got that. Like, oh yeah, frogs are slow. They just, they hang the window. And I'm like, sure. And it just goes to show you why naming things sticks with kids. And it was like, why do we name it Frog? I don't know. I couldn't come up with another animal with F, man. Like, I don't know. Because all the adults in the room were like, you guys name things weird. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, shut up. I'm like, I went through, I Wikipedia'd animal names that start with F, and I just worked through it. So, great example of that. But yeah, no, Matt, I think that's a good piece to it I didn't bring up. We did have Frog. I just don't think I had any film of us hopping out perfectly on it, but we did run it some. And Frog, we just told that kid, if it's run, fit like it's Fox. If it's pass, you drop out. So it's kind of that in-between thing. The same way we play trap coverage with the corner. On trap coverage, if it's run, fit. If it's pass, hang the window. So is what it is. But
love it.
All right. Well, Matt, good episode back Good to have you back. Congratulations again. And next week we got 2 episodes coming up. So let's get it rolling, man.
Thanks, Coach. Let's get it done.
All right, man. For me and for Matt, we'll see you next time on the Board Drill Podcast.